Alrighty, friends. So today we're going to be diving into self-reflection for personal growth. So you guys often hear me talk about asking yourself questions, personal reflection, journaling, the whole thing. Today we're going to jump into that a little bit. It's going to be a concise lesson, pretty quick stuff, but some actionable tools and steps to help you grow, not only as a person for your overall health, but especially this is geared towards your trading career and this skill set that you're trying to develop at a high level. And so that's these points that I'm about to talk about are applicable to both generalization of your life and specific stuff such as trading. So I broke today into two parts like usual. We have the role of self-reflection in personal growth, so what it is and why it's important. And then part two is practical exercises for self-reflection. So getting into the nitty-gritty stuff. Again, it's going to be short. So let's just jump into it. The role of self-reflection in personal growth. So understanding self-reflection. So self-reflection is a process of introspection to evaluate thoughts, behaviors, and progress in personal and professional areas. Pretty straightforward, but I do want to touch on that. The introspection to evaluate thoughts, behaviors, and progress. Progress is what we're kind of going to be focusing on today. So moving on, it helps to identify patterns, celebrate achievements, and pinpoint areas of improvement. Again, focusing on that last part of that sentence, pinpointing areas for improvement. And so that's what we're going to jump into as far as some actionable tools to improve your trading. So, and one more time on the understanding self-reflection. Regular self-reflection can improve self-awareness and guide intentional growth and wellness in other aspects of life, like trading. So when we talk about guiding intentional growth, it's really easy for us to kind of be nonchalant about our progress when it comes to trading, where it's like, okay, yeah, I know I'm commonly getting out of my position a little bit early just because I want to secure profits, but I'm not doing it following according to my risk management plan. And we, kind of think about it, but we don't take any actionable steps or create systems or habits to improve on that stuff. So even though you may be aware of what your problem is, it's really going to be difficult to grow in that area intentionally without setting yourself up for that. So that's what, the reason I created this lesson is because I think a lot of us may start understanding how important journaling is, and we're incorporating it in our daily lives, potentially, hopefully. And if not, maybe you are a little bit aware of stuff, but how do we take that awareness and turn it into something that is actionable and will help us towards our bigger goals? So that's what today's lesson was all about. So assessing wellness progress. So use self-reflection to evaluate physical, mental, and emotional well-being regularly. So when we talk about, using self-reflection to evaluate all this stuff, for me, a really good example is my fitness journey. And I take progress pictures and progress videos, not as motivation to see where I was, to where I'm going, even though that's useful too, but I use it as kind of a marker to look back, say, okay, I set a goal 1 year ago, and now I can look in the mirror or, compare progress pictures and say, all right, I had this goal and I failed to reach that goal, or I succeeded that goal and I need to make bigger, better goals for myself, whatever it might be. But it's a really good way to track what's going on, to either change my goals and make them more, as they call them, SMART goals, or just more achievable, whatever it might be. Or I need to keep the same goal or even raise it, and then just change my systems in order to get to that goal more effectively, or whatever it might be. So implementing things like journaling, screenshots, a trading journal, all this stuff it's actionable. You can look back and improve on it. And if you're not, what are we doing here? It's you have nothing to lose but everything to gain just by jotting down a few things weekly, potentially. And that's what we're going to talk about moving into this. I can see, I've noticed when, I often talk about how we should be journaling daily, if not multiple times a day, and that can be overwhelming. It doesn't fit into a lot of people's schedule, even though it would be beneficial. So today's lesson, I kind of regressed from that heavier set regimen of journaling and self-reflection to a weekly and potentially monthly basis to look back. And I think that fits a lot more into people's schedule, and you guys can really work with that and run with it. So that's the idea behind what we're doing here. So assessing wellness progress. We've got a couple more points under that subcategory. So reflect on recent habits, identify what worked well and what are some challenge areas. So again, applying this directly to trading, you can look literally through your screenshots of your trades to see where your entry points, where your exit points were. Or what I would recommend even more, for the beginners, that technical stuff is definitely, I would say, more important than the psychological aspects, but I don't know. It can be a seesaw at times, and you got to progress in everything if possible at one time. But especially for us who are familiar we have a deep understanding of where our entry and exit points will be, what our risk management portfolio or plan should look like. We have a good technical basis to go off of, and now the challenge becomes mental. And what do our habits and systems look like, and how are they setting us up for success? And that's what, again, we're geared towards today. So identifying some emotional triggers, some things that aren't working out well. When you're able to journal that down and then able to look back on it, just like my progress pictures for my fitness goals, I'm going to say, okay, I'm failing a little bit in this area that I want to get better at. It's so easy for me now to look at it and dedicate intentional time and make actionable steps towards improving that goal. Otherwise, like I said earlier, we can have this nonchalant idea behind what we're doing, and we're like, okay, yeah, I probably need to improve on that. I'll work on it next time. But you're never dedicating any intentional growth to that thing, and it kind of just gets, shoved under the rug and pushed aside. And there's just better ways to do this, and that's again why self-reflection and introspection and journaling can be so powerful for improving not only as a holistic aspect of your life, but also for very technical stuff that we can improve on. We got a quick something in the chat real quick. Hey, do you have any advice on preventing from getting in early on a trade before getting stopped out? Do you have any advice on preventing from getting in early on a trade before getting stopped out? I understand the first part of your question. I'm a little bit confused. Getting in early before getting stopped out sounds a little. Could you articulate that a little bit better? But I think I know what you're getting at here, as far as jumping in early because you don't want to miss the move, and that's something that I struggled with for a long time. And I think that's I'm going to generalize here, but I think that's something that a lot of people do struggle with, and I've seen it time and time again, where people take really aggressive entries in fear of missing out, and then all of a sudden you get stopped out early. I think that's, yeah, no worries. Hopefully, am I on the right track? Can I just run with this thought process? The question is getting in early when you see a setup, but then you can get stopped out. Yeah, okay, so I'm essentially, yeah, okay, cool. Aggressive entries, how to essentially add patience to your entries. And that's the key point when we talk about a lot of this stuff is patience. And I know that's thrown around often and it's easy to kind of overlook and whatnot, but this stuff is the fruit of a profitable and consistent trader, is patience, is discipline to wait. And I think much too often when we think of being day traders and seeing day traders and taking these aggressive trades, and that's essentially what we're doing. There's such a negative connotation that gets thrown around with day trading, but these massive firms who make their income are in the 9-10 figures annually, massive companies, they're trading as well. It's not investments, they're trades. And so, which, can be an investment, whatever. But I think too often when we think about retail day traders, you see people online taking a bunch of trades and they make a bunch of money. They don't show their losses, whatever it might be. And that's why at Eternal Exchange, it's like, hey, we may not take a trade today. And I think too often we see people getting into trades, and again, we lack patience of what we're doing here. So what I want you to get your headspace in, or to shift your perspective of, is that there will be times in the market where there is no setup. And again, I know that's pretty common knowledge, that's understood, but we can kind of force our perspective onto the charts and not take a very technical and analytical standpoint when we're looking at the charts. We can start to force our like, oh, that kind of looks like the GUI model or whatever entry you're looking at. It's like silver bullet hour, everything's kind of making sense. It's, the trend's kind of riding my way. I was thinking market's going to go long today. And you kind of manipulate these charts in your mind to say, this is a good entry for me to get into. But when you look at the most profitable traders of all time and what these big firms are doing, it's a very, very technical, patient, and deliberate way of trading. And when we allow our emotions to get involved in this and we start to skew what we're looking at to fit our perception of or what we want the charts to look like, we can get into a lot of trouble. Most of the best traders that I know, and I've spoken with, and I really pay attention to, and others that I don't, that I've read and studied, and what are these hedge funds doing, and these big firms, they're not trading for multiple days sometimes. And then all of a sudden the price action picks up and they see their entry model or whatever it might be, and they jump into the trade. And I know that's a long answer, but a short answer for you, I really encourage you to shift your perspective from quick gains of, oh, there's set up on the charts, I dedicated time to this, I might as well jump into a trade. You got to shift your mind out of that and say, most of the time, truly most of the time, you're going to have to dedicate time to trading, open up your laptop or your computer. You're going to sit there and you're going to wait for 45 minutes to an hour during your optimal trading time that works for you, say silver bullet hour, whatever it is for you, and there's not going to be an entry and you're not going to take a trade. That's what's going to happen, especially 3, 4, 5 years down the road when you're really starting to get good at this. You're like, yeah, not trading today, and then you'll get to the point where you open the trading view or whatever it might be you're using to view the charts. You look at it, you see the price action for 5 seconds, you're like, nope, not for me today. And you're paying attention to fundamental aspects like news and whatnot. But changing your perspective from I need to do this daily to I need to look at this as potentially taking 1, 2, 3, 4 trades a week. And then eventually that will probably transform into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades a month. And when we look at these bigger firms and what they're doing, a lot of them are on that extended time frame where they're swing trades, where we're not really worried about really quick gains. We're focused on the bigger picture here and what trade setups are supposed to look like and what on the fundamental aspects of things, how that looking, how are there earnings coming out later this week that's going to affect us on Monday when they're only coming out on Friday. All these things start to come into play, and that's why there's so much growth to be had as a retail trader, and that's what we're trying to come up with here shortly. It's a step-by-step curriculum of what to pay attention to and what really what's in store for us when we jump into this retail day trading space. And patience and discipline are going to be at the forefront of everything that we do here. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see. Patience is better than aggressive entry. I see what you mean. Taking less trades per week is a good idea. Yeah, absolutely. And truly just being okay with that. And that's going to be not only beneficial for your portfolio, but it's also going to be beneficial on a personal level, being able to be patient, grow that skill set, and be deliberate about growing that skill set. I think that's really cool. All right. Part 2, practical exercises for self-reflection. So jumping into some actionable tools on how to do what we've been talking about and why introspection and self-reflection and journaling and asking yourself questions is so important for long-term growth. And if we can just do this stuff once a day, maybe once or twice a week, we can see exponential growth. And then that starts to compound, and over a 5-year, 10-year game plan, you are really on track of your discipline and patience and emotional well-being when it comes to high-stress environments like trading potentially. All right, practical exercises for self-reflection. Weekly journaling with prompts. So right now, so you guys know, I am coming up with a PDF for an outline of certain journal prompts, and you can call them diary entries or post-trading or pre-trading kind of curriculum, things to ask yourself, how to get in the right headspace that you guys will be able to print off or leave on your computer and do whatever you want. But here's a short version I compiled for today's lesson just to give you guys some stuff to run with. So journaling provides a structured way to document thoughts and insights for better clarity. Again, just like going back to my fitness journey, taking these progress pics, it's not for motivation. It's to be able to look back and make adjustments as needed to either my systems or my goals or both. And it's just a really good way to be analytical about this stuff and, move forward in the best and most efficient way. So some examples for prompts that you guys could write down, and I'll send this to the chat right now. Let me do that first. The format's a little off when I moved them. But anyway, so what wellness habits have I been consistent with this week? And again, I know I was kind of gearing this towards the technical, analytical side of trading today, but we can never lose the understanding of how important this mind-to-body connection is. If we're not working out, if our sleep schedule is jacked up, if our diet is not good, that is truly going to affect your cognitive performance and ability. And if we talk about optimization, how to be the best trader possible, you have to get all those other ducks in a row. So what wellness habits have I been consistent with this week? I left that at the forefront. Next one is, what challenges did I face and how can I address them moving forward? And again, I geared these questions as kind of a holistic aspect that can be deliberated broadly and holistically, but they can also be very specific if you apply these to your trading journey. So what challenges did I face this week in trading? And how can I address them moving forward? Again, journaling about this stuff is going to be really beneficial for you making an action plan forward. And then what is one small change I can make to improve next week? And I'm going to come up with some, for those of you who don't really, these are kind of superficial questions. I'm coming up with questions for those of you who are a little bit hungrier for some, steak and potatoes rather than some milk. I'm going to come up with those questions. I'm going to put it out to you guys. I'm just taking some time to do that because I want it to be something really tangible that you guys can grasp onto and relate to and be applicable to a broad range of people, which is proving more difficult than I anticipated. But this stuff can help, and I think a lot of you guys can just take 15 minutes per week, 10 minutes per week, every Friday, and you can apply these questions to your trading journey and your life as a whole. Okay, you know what, John's been talking a lot about, getting to the gym. It's going to affect my my cognitive function, my brain fog. I feel a little groggy. Sometimes when I sit down on the computer, I'm not really fully there. Working out helps that. Dieting helps that. Consistent sleep helps that. Maybe next week, I'm only getting 5.5 hours of sleep a night. I'm going to try to get 6.5 hours consistently. So I'm going to set an alarm for bedtime, an alarm for wake time, and I'm going to try to get my circadian rhythm back on track. Doing this stuff is beneficial. So those are some small questions. I will be coming up with some meatier questions for you guys here shortly. What would you do on a day where you wake up late, feel tired, not trade on that day? So I issue a challenge to myself if I'm taking a trade or I'm running a session with you guys. So for the most part, that's Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I have to take a cold shower before I either trade or jump on a session with you guys. And the reason being is because it's a challenge to myself where I dedicated a thought process to this, like, hey, I'm going to do this challenge and to keep me more disciplined, more patient. But there's also tons of benefits to deliberate cold exposure, like reducing that brain fog, jacking up your adrenaline and cortisol levels and we hear cortisol and we're all, oh, that's bad. No, on specific ways, pumping up your cortisol and adrenaline can be really beneficial, and especially your dopamine. It can give you a boost of energy for 4 to 6 hours. That stuff's really good, and it keeps me sharp when I do that stuff. I've run sessions where I have not had a good breakfast and I'm a little dehydrated. I didn't sleep well last night and I didn't take a cold shower. And looking back at some of my YouTube videos, it's like, holy crap, I'm not on top of it. I'm definitely more sluggish, and I can tell what I'm eating the days leading up. And I know that sounds a little extreme, but the more I listen to my body and the more in tune with this stuff I'm really able to say, yeah, a couple days ago when I got bad sleep and that kind of lingered in the next days, and then I got bad sleep again, everything kind of got messed up. I really do notice that when I sit down and try to perform a uh, cognitively intensive activity like preparing a lesson and delivering it and then answering questions. And sometimes you guys' questions, these aren't bad at all, but sometimes there are some heavy questions and I kind of got to be on my toes. To bring back to your question, making a challenge for yourself like that can be really beneficial. Something that, on a biological level can help you, like taking a cold shower. I will always recommend to people before they do this stuff. But let's say you wake up late and you kind of say your morning routine is you drink water, you go get sunlight in the morning, you start your coffee, whatever it might be for you. All of a sudden, everything is pushed back and you're like rushing to the computer. Joe just already started his session. You're a little slow. Maybe still go watch that session, still get your coffee and stuff ready, still take that time outside, maybe just watch it on your phone, but don't take a trade that day. Again, going back to crypto, Chris, his question about being aggressive, that can be applicable not only to aggressive entries where you have to take a step back, broaden your time frame of what success really looks like when it comes to retail day trading. You can apply that to your, again, a broader perspective. Instead of aggressive trade entries on the hourly or minute level, bring that back to the daily level. Like, okay, I'm a little off today. No worries, I'm not going to trade. And then you're improving on skill sets, not only at discipline, because discipline's not, I often talk about, it's not a switch that's getting flipped on and all of a sudden you have discipline. It's a multiple choices every single day of what you're going to do. That's just really important. So you won't only build discipline, but you're going to build some emotional regulation and introspection. And again, just like we're talking about here, like, oh, I took a break. All these guys are making really good money right now. Cool. I'm really happy for them. I'm going to take this lesson and learn from it. I'm just going to kind of sit here, feel my emotions, and I'm going to deal with them as they come. And I'm going to kind of try to learn something today, instead of coming at it a little bit thrown off. You're off balance. You come down a trade. Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't, but you're not really building a whole lot of skill sets or habits and systems that are going to help you long term. Like making a rule for yourself. Hey, if I don't wake up on time and I don't do ABC, I'm not going to trade today. I think that's really powerful, and incorporating that in my life has really helped me. And sometimes it's hard watching, a bunch of people make a lot of money, but that discipline I think is much more valuable than that short-term gain. Truly, on a deep level, I really do mean that. So does that make sense? Hopefully, I wasn't too roundabout with that answer. We have one more little point here in our subcategory: goal setting through reflection. So use insights from self-reflection to set realistic, actionable goals for personal growth. That's kind of the culmination of what we've been talking about. Use insights from self-reflection, like journaling and introspection and self-reflection, to set realistic, actionable goals for personal growth. And so I encourage you guys to write one short-term goal, which would be weekly, like that, those small prompts I gave you guys earlier. What is one small change I can make to improve next week? And then one long-term goal. And I kind of manipulated long-term and short-term to fit this lesson here. So a short-term goal for you guys for this lesson, setting a goal for yourself, is going to be weekly, and then a long-term is going to be monthly. And if you guys set these based on identified growth areas or areas that need intentional growth, you are going to see so much benefit to your trading in 4 to 6 weeks. You're going to be like, holy crap, like me, instead of thinking about this stuff nonchalantly, I'm going to have something that I can look back on and be like, oh man, I am constantly struggling with this one thing and I haven't taken any actionable steps to make a change. When you just start journaling once a week, you can say, all right, next week I'm going to work on this, which could be, Chris, for you, not jumping into the aggressive early trade and taking, a step back, just taking some deep breaths, grounding yourself, and moving around, feeling your body, doing the thing, watching, seeing what's happening, and not taking that, whatever it might be for you guys. And then have a long-term goal, like monthly, where you're like, okay, I typically am saying to myself, I want to make $500 a day. And, I want to make whatever it is, $2,500 a week. I'm trying to make 10 grand a month, whatever it is. Yet you still haven't gotten a payout, or you're inconsistent with your payouts. Those goals are too high. You need to reel them back. You need to gain this long-term perspective. Like, I'm paying tuition right now with my time and my money towards this thing that's going to take me 6 months, 12 months, 18 months to get really competent and understand what I need to do. And in that time, what we should be doing is developing our habits and our systems to set ourselves up for that success. So I really do encourage you guys to write a short-term goal and a long-term goal. And again, that would be weekly and monthly. Just kind of help yourself to, again, back to the fitness journey for myself, looking back at those progress pictures, these intentional areas of growth that you're looking for can be just make a huge, huge difference. And I encourage you guys to reach out to me if just one of you is going to try it. Hopefully all of you are, but reach out to me in 4 weeks from now. Say, hey, I actually applied that, and I'm seeing a lot of growth. I'm seeing more consistency, and I know what I need to work on. And that'll make me so happy. I hope you guys do that. Last little thing, revisit these goals during your next reflection session. Again, that could be every Friday after you're done trading or whatever it might be, to track your progress and make adjustments. Make these adjustments the same way that I'm changing either my goals or my systems in place to achieve my fitness goals. Same way can be applied here. You know what, that was a little too ambitious. I'm going to bring that goal down a little bit. Or maybe, I should still shoot for that high goal. I just need to change my systems to set myself up more effectively to reach that goal. So I leave you guys with this kind of a capstone note. Self-reflection is a powerful tool for personal growth and wellness. Okay. One more time for those of you guys who aren't listening in the back. Self-reflection, introspection, journaling is a powerful tool for personal growth and wellness. By evaluating your habits, celebrating progress, and setting intentional goals, you can create a roadmap for continuous improvement and a more balanced life. And that's kind of the goal here. That's what we're trying to teach you guys, where we're trying to go, where we're all trying to go together. That's what I got for you guys today. So hopefully you guys were able to sift through everything and grab some nugget that you can take and really apply to your trading journey, or maybe your life as a whole, that can really help you in what your progress, whatever your goals are. So that's all I got for you guys today. I'd love to open it up to Q&A. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns for me, shoot them out in the chat. If not, I bid you farewell, and I will see you guys on Thursday. Anything for me? Hopefully you guys enjoyed today, but it seems like that might be it today. Well, cool, folks. No questions, no comments, no concerns. Hopefully that's a good thing. And hopefully you guys go apply this stuff and have a great day. Oh, Hunter's got something. Shoot it out, man. I'm here. All these lessons are recorded too. What I recommend to people, I'm not going to, let's see, we're at 28 minutes. I'm like many of you, I don't have time to sit down and watch John talk for 28 minutes in my day. So I'll upload all these to YouTube. And you guys, if you want to go back and watch them, just put it on 1.5 speed or 2 times speed. Listen to me ramble until you find something that is actionable and applicable to your life. You can slow it down. That's what I usually recommend to people. Do you journal your goals daily? I don't journal my goals daily, but I do journal daily. And most of my journaling consists of my personal, I don't know. I really view my life holistically. I used to subcategorize, or I forget the common terminology for it, but I used to really put my life in boxes. Like, here's trading over here, here's my family life, here's my friends, here's my hobbies, all these different subcategories or categorizations of my life. But now I've really started to shift my perspective to a holistic aspect between my emotional health, my spiritual health, my physical health, my mental health, my trading progress, my work progress, what are some bigger stuff so all that stuff when I journal, it will bounce back and forth. Some days it's specifically about one thing, other days it's about everything. So when I journal, it's really kind of however I'm feeling during that moment, whatever I'm thinking about, what's on my mind, how can I work through a problem that I'm trying to solve, whatever it might be. So I don't journal my goals every day, and I don't know if that would be beneficial. Maybe I should try it, but my typical work week looks like on Sunday. Or I shouldn't say work week. My week typically looks like on Sunday. That's when I sit down and dedicate about 30 minutes to an hour to just kind of write down what are my goals for this week. What am I lacking of, or what am I trying to improve on? And that's kind of what I journal about on Sunday. And then I kind of put that into an action plan, like a to-do list, things to work on, things to remember, and then I move forward from there. But I do not journal my goals daily, but I do reflect and look back on my goals often. Got life figured out. Best ways. Appreciate that, man. I'm struggling every day, but I think that struggle is the human experience. Wrestling with God or yourself or whatever it is that you're wrestling with. I think that's part of the game. Part of the game. We got to kind of lean into that sometime. Who are the main guys you watch on YouTube? Andrew Huberman, off the bat, he's huge. Rick Rubin, if you guys haven't heard his, he has a podcast called Tetragrammaton. I got a little visitor, got a little cat coming in here. But Tetragrammaton by Rick Rubin and Andrew Huberman are really the big ones. I read often, but I don't read quickly. Like, it will take me quite some time to move through a book. And often, hi, let's see if you want to say hi. Oh, see the little cat friend. Look at what's going on. But so it takes me a while to get through books, but those are two guys that I watch often. I love TED Talks as well. But I don't spend a lot of dedicated time watching YouTube videos anymore, and most of it is podcasts. I don't listen to music very often anymore, like when I'm driving and doing any commuting. And I'm usually listening to something that I think can gain my perspective. Here's a fun thought that I had the other day also. I think for a lot of us that are in the audience here trying to expand our network and hang out with people who are better than ourselves, and we're just trying to surround ourselves in a network that can be beneficial to our life for growth. And I was listening to Rick Rubin and Matthew McConaughey talk, and both of them, again, I'm pretty young. Both of them are much older than I and have a lot of life experience in ways that I would look up to, where I would take criticism from them and advice. And I was thinking to myself, what an amazing time for me to be born, where if I don't have this network where I can go hang out with people who are much more experienced financially, spiritually, all these things, I can now put myself in that room through a podcast and start to understand how they work through problems, how they outlook life, and really apply a lot of that stuff and gain a deeper understanding and just really up my level just by listening to them. And I was like, how cool for me to be here. People, a couple decades ago or less did not have that opportunity. So I thought that was just super cool. So yeah, Rick Rubin, Andrew Huberman, I'm like constantly switching between them. There's who else? I'll have to send it out to you guys. There's a couple I have that I rotate. Oh, Blurry Creatures. That's a cool one. I don't listen to all their podcasts. I would actually only a few, but whenever they have a doctor on talking about some theological problems to grapple with, I always love listening in to try to, broaden my perspective. What's up, cat? What's your cold shower routine? Do you do multiple reps? Any suggestions? Do you do multiple reps? Any suggested by Huberman? Yeah, so go to hubermanlab.com. I can put it in the chat right here. hubermanlab.com. And his team made his website really easily navigatable to where you can search in deliberate cold exposure or cold showers, and they have everything in every what's the word? They transcribe every single one of their podcast episodes. So you just search something, it will come up. Everything's chaptered out. A great resource. And so whenever I'm struggling with something physically, like psychological, um, physiological, whatever it might be, I'll jump on hubermanlab.com and search up whatever problem I'm having. Or if I want advice like cold showers or deliberate cold exposure, search it up on his website. It'll bring you to a podcast link. Maybe it's a solo episode, maybe it's with an expert, or just a little 15-second clip on it. It's so good. I love using that. For my personal cold shower routine, I like to get in within 15 minutes of waking. Sometimes when I really don't want to do it, that's when I do it right away. That's when like I wake up and I'm like trying to think of an excuse in my head of how I could not, like how I can convince myself to not take a cold shower. That's when I'm like, nope. I throw the sheets off and turn on the cold water all the way and I get in. But that's less often. Typically it's like 15-ish minutes. You know, I'm rolling out of bed, stretching. I try not to look at my phone at all in the morning before my cold shower, but I do check my messages just in case, put it back down, and then jump in. So it's nothing rigid. My cold shower regimen is not anything crazy, but I just do try to do deliberate cold exposure every single morning, and it helps more than a cup of coffee. But if you do like coffee and you combine a cold shower with a cup of Joe, oh, you're onto something, man. You're gonna be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I'll tell you what. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Anything else for me? What do we got? Grab my little protein shake real quick. Not sure whether this has been discussed, but I did do my cold shower routine by starting with my normal temperature and gradually decreasing every day. I thought about it to get a really cold shower. That's awesome. Yeah, what a great way to go about that, Tibor. And that's awesome. I also recommend that to people too. Sometimes I'll still do where it's like, I don't know. Sometimes I'll still do that. I need to do more reflection on why I do that. Most of the time, it is just turning to cold and jumping in. But for those of you who have never took 3 weeks, yeah, that's perfect. I love that. It's rare to find people who are able to really gradually move into something and have that patience. So I really respect that, Tibor. Just like working out, some people who have an injury, they want to get back into the gym, lifting the same weights and stuff. They don't take the 1, 2, 3 weeks it takes to really get your nervous system and your muscles and your joints all ready for that weight that you were lifting before. They just jump into it. And that could be so taxing on your nervous system, your joint. I mean, it will lead to future injuries. But that's also applicable to things like cold showers and whatnot. Jumping into something can really turn you off of it really quickly by going too fast. So that's so cool. Tibor, thanks for making that point. Scaling up takes time. Totally. 100%. Have you ever done any dry fasting or water fasts? Yes, I have. Not intentionally, through the Army and some training stuff where I didn't eat for a couple days. But it was never for deliberate, biological health reasons, which I should. I know there are so many benefits to it, and like Gary Brecka talks about his 3-day water fast all the time, which I really I need to do. My only thing why I have not yet is because I have a weight goal that I'm trying to get to, so I'm constantly trying to gain weight. And I'm getting closer. My goal weight is 235. Right now I'm around 215-ish, probably 210 now since I got surgery on my wrist. So that's why I have not yet. But I might get surgery on my ankle in January or February, and I'll be out for a bit of the gym and stuff. So I'm glad you brought that up. I'm probably going to jump into that water fast. Do Gary Brecka's probably. It's what I like his work, so I'll probably subscribe to his fast. What do we got? It's like trading, scaling takes up time. I do come from a Hungarian background where there are a lot of hot baths because a lot of deep underground hot water sources and a lot of health benefits come from taking hot baths and cold water baths. That's awesome. Cool Budapest bath tickets. So cool. I forget the name of it. I went to Japan And I forget the name. They're bathhouses where you go in, you really scrub down, get really, really clean, and then there's this communal onsen. Thank you. That's awesome. Yeah, and we would, me and my buddy that I went with, we would go to an onsen, and then sometimes they would have an outdoor shower. It would get really, really cold right next to it, and we do that whole thing back and forth. And this was super hard, but man, I always felt amazing after that. It's so cool. Hunter said, John, when are you going to come up to Alaska? I'm planning. I really want to get up there for the 4th of July this year. I just got a girlfriend though, and we're here in Temecula, and I live in Alabama. So I'm trying to figure out that whole thing. I have plans to go to Hawaii late June, and then I'm going to try to go straight there to Alaska I'll probably be in Hope. I'll probably be staying in Hope, but that'd be super cool to see you if I can get up there. But I'm going to see if she wants to come and stuff, but we'll see. Not familiar with the research, but I believe that fasting can affect cognitive negativity in terms of macronutrients. A good amount of carbohydrates fuel your brains can affect cognition negatively. Yeah, I absolutely do believe that, but and it depends on what your goals are, and it may be something like, during the first couple days, it could be you're not performing at a cognitively optimal level, but I'm sure Gary Brecka, I need to look into more water fast, but I know there's a lot of benefits as far as potentially resetting your microbiota in your gut microbiome and all that good stuff. But yeah, I believe, especially if you don't have insulin, it would be more carbohydrates and then insulin into the neurons. But yes, I definitely believe that as well. So you got to be careful and go about it the right way. Long-term fasting, that is short. Oh, there it is. You answered that. Daily fast in the morning can spike your fight or flight senses. Yeah. I also like to work out fasted. Fasted meaning a couple hours fasted. But yeah, cool. I totally subscribe to that too, Scud. The longest fast ever, food fast, it was like close to a year or over a year. Obviously, someone extremely heavy, obviously very, very dangerous to do, but he literally didn't eat for close to a year or over a year. Crazy. All right, folks. Well, it looks like that's it. Again, for those of you who joined up late, it was kind of an action-packed as far as actionable tools for introspection and journaling that you can go back on YouTube and watch. I'll post it into John's lessons here later today. I just need to get that. Right on, Scott. I appreciate you guys' time. I love when you guys are active, engaging. I always try to structure my lessons in some ways, and some lessons hit better than others. So I'm glad this was one of them. Appreciate you guys' time. A couple of you guys are typing. I'll hang out till then. Muchas gracias. Appreciate that, Tibor, man. I always enjoy whenever I see you typing. I always get a little excited to see what you have to say. Cool, folks. Lena, thank you so much. It's Lena, right? I always look at. Wait, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Lena, right? Yes. Okay, sweet. Sweet. Couple more of you guys talking. So in the meantime, when you guys are finishing up your last thoughts, I do encourage you guys. I talk about often doing something difficult every single day. So important. So important. If we're not doing something difficult, deliberately difficult every single day, inevitably life will hit us with something very difficult. And all of a sudden we're thrown way off balance and we don't know how to healthily handle the stress and whatever other emotions that this difficult situation life threw at us brings. And so doing something deliberately difficult, deliberately hard every single day, you're going to be so much more prepared for whatever life has to throw at you. And you're going to be someone in your community where people view as a pillar that can go to in their times of stress. And you're not going to have all the answers. It's not going to be this massive change in your life, but what it will do is prepare yourself and give you just such a solid foundation if you're deliberately doing something hard every single day. So I encourage you guys to go do that thing now. If you guys haven't gotten to the gym in a long time, go do that thing. Go do that hard thing today. Go put on your running shoes, whatever it might be for you. Maybe you've never taken a cold shower. Maybe tomorrow morning, set your alarm. Say, at this time, I'm going to be in the cold shower and I'm going to hate it. I'm going to hate it. But when I get out, I'm going to feel alive and I'm going to be so glad that I did it. Do something hard. Please do something hard and tell your loved ones that you love them. I need to jump on these more often. Lots of valuable information. Appreciate that. Appreciate that a ton. Thank you, John. How did things go with that construction company you were thinking about taking over from the older couple? Unfortunately, it didn't pan out. It was a big company. I think I definitely had the faculties to take it over, but again, I'm pretty young, and these were definitely more old school, and they kind of shook it off. But that's how it is. I'm glad I had they scheduled 2 meetings with me, which I really appreciated their time. So I learned how to better handle that situation when I come into a more traditional, someone with a bit more traditional headspace when it comes to business. Not dealing with someone so young, I know how to handle that situation a little bit more, but always looking for more opportunities. It seems trading has finally clicked for me in the last month. I've been on a streak close to being funded, but scared I won't carry the same energy over into funded. Well, if you keep that same energy, man, I love to hear that. Some people talk about getting funded in 1 day or 1 week, and I'm like, ooh, careful, put on the brakes. Like, that is a really short-term perspective to have on trading. I love when I hear someone saying it. Like, hey, I've been trading for a month, I'm on a streak, and I'm almost funded. When I hear that, that brings me so much joy. I'm like, that's what we need to be. And then maybe you getting a payout is the next 2 to 3 months. But that's just cool. You're on the right track, dude. Just keep doing what you're doing. If you have questions, concerns, comments, just slow down, take your hands off the computer, reach out to this community. There's so many people who have dealt with very, very, very similar situations to you that can provide you insight. Reach out to me or Joe, and we'll get you the right tools. But it sounds like you're on the right track, so keep doing what you're doing. Excuse me. Tibor said, what I tend to do is that I'm thanking random people, especially now with the Christmas season is coming. Most people don't get a thank you. Shop workers, policemen, garbage collectors, janitors. It's so heartwarming when you get a smile on their face. Do that every day. It helps with my mental state of mind. That's so cool. I love that. I'm going to go say hello and shake a stranger's hand today and give them a smile because of that. Thanks, Tibor. That's so cool. I love that. I love the little, the cliche, or I don't even know if that's the right word, but it was from a little kid. I heard the quote. It was like, if someone doesn't have a smile, give them yours. And I was like, that's so heartwarming. It was from like a 4-year-old or something, or 5-year-old. But it's so true. And it's just like, we need to be more like children in that sense. That's so cool. For those of you who do not have space or money, this is what I bought. So I have hot and cold effect. Nice bath after steam. Oh, dude, thank you. I'm saving that. Yeah, I'm moving it. Like, I'm trying to get investment properties. All my stuff's all over the place. So something more portable like that, I'm on it, man. Thanks, Tibor. Gotta save that. Let me just take a screenshot real quick. Got it. Thanks, Tibor. What else we got? Thank you. Just overall happy I'm finally getting it. Consistent with my trading. Would have been funded on 100K last week, but Top Step X had issues. Had a minus 4.7 red day, but brought that account back to a 103 currently. Nice, good job. How much are you scaling? What's your lot size for that 100K account? And if you haven't already, unfortunately, not a lot of people have checked this out. I came up with a kind of an outline, a general structure for how to typically structure your risk management portfolio for most prop firm accounts. This one was based off of Apex because that's typically the most popular that people go to. There's a big shift happening right now, but that was definitely the powerhouse, and most of the rules can be applied to whatever you're using. Check out that risk management plan, and if you are like double the recommended max lot size, definitely scale down, bring it down a little bit. And again, we're not here for the daily gains right now. Sure, in the future that may be a total possibility, but right now we're trying to develop a skill set that we should now understand that is going to take us multiple months, if not longer, to really grasp a deep understanding of what needs to happen, what habits you need to form, what systems need to be in place for you to succeed. So check that out. Take it slow. Reel your perspective back in and look at this as a long-term skill set, like playing guitar. Are you kidding me? You think you're going to be getting huge gigs in the first couple months of learning guitar? It's going to take some time. It's going to take some time, that's for sure. Alrighty, folks. Appreciate you tons. I love when it's interactive. Brings me love that. I love that. So I love all you guys. I truly do. If you haven't heard that in a while, I love you. I do. I really mean that. I love you. Just like Tibor said, go say hi. Go greet some people today. That's so cool. I love you for saying that and appreciate that. Go give someone your smile today. Go do something hard. If you've never taken a cold shower, maybe tomorrow morning is the day. Let me know. If you do, that'd be so sick. Let me know. All right, friends. Appreciate you tons. Have a fantastic day and go tell your loved ones that you love them. See ya.